Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited here. As most people know, my name is Cobra Mass, and I'm joined alongside with Captain Rex.
Good morning, everybody. I am pumped to be here with the legendary Cobra Mass.
Yeah, very happy you're joining me. Today is the second day of the Clan Cup. I'm really excited to see some of the matchups today. How do you feel about this week's matchup compared to last week's?
Ooh.
So now,
Do you know it's nice to see these teams go up against each other, to see the pros go head to head, to see the strategies, to see how close the games can actually be. So I'm just pumped to be watching them again.
yeah. So now, let's get into the overview of what today's cup is. Today, playing in the second week of the 3-week tournament between the top 4 clans in Mushroom Wars 2. This is an invite-only tournament to ultimately name the top clan of 2023. Today is week 2, and the next week we'll play the final matchups. Each clan will play each other in a round-robin style matchup. There will be 5 players per team in a combination of 1v1s and 2 versus 2s. Games to collect as many wins and points for their team. The clans in this cup today are AOS, Woo, Top, and Sexy. Today we're going to see clan AOS battle Top and clan Sexy go against Woo. Rex, can you lay out the rules for us, for everyone?
For sure. All right. So we've got one. We've got all the matchups are 10 battles. Okay. Maps come from a pool that the teams choose, and only they are allowed. If there's a tie, it doesn't matter. Right. And the heroes are set to random.
Yeah. So lastly, there'll be tournament mode enabled. So everyone is set to tier 5. The games will last for a maximum of 6 minutes. And with the King of the Hill Tower, no matter what, there will be one winner. So now let's get into the prizes for everyone.
So the prizes here, I love this because there is real money on the line here, folks. First place, you've got $200 to split amongst the team. They give you 50,000 gems to split amongst the team, with 1,000 gems each for each member on the team. Everybody gets the coveted clan winner avatar frame, plus 3 years of premium that's split among the team. They also get the first place trophy to display. Second place gets 100 real dollars to split amongst the team, 25 real gems, not real in game, and 500 for each member who participates. 2 years of premium to split amongst the team, and the second place trophy. Third place, $50 to split amongst the team, 10,000 gems to split, 250 for each member on the team, and 1 year of premium plus the third year trophy. So real stuff on the line here, fellas.
Yeah, exactly. And also, we will be having giveaways for everyone who is watching. So if you're part of the stream, make sure that you participate in the mushroom lotteries, as we are giving out gems, sometimes gold, and periodically between matches we're going to do random draws for 1,000 gems at a time. So make sure you write down the keyword in the chat and keep an eye out. There will be several of them throughout the stream, and you'll have many chances to win. And when we get close to the finals, we're going to do a mushroom lottery for a legendary artifact as well. So now let's jump into the maps.
All right. So just as Cobra pointed out earlier, all of the teams have already locked in their map picks for both the 1v1 and 2v2 maps scheduled for today's showdown. These choices have been put together into today's map pool. Each round will be played on one of these maps at random. So glancing at the screen, you can see the maps for today. So we've got D3, D8, D37, D49, D64, D73, D91, D93, Q2, Q3, Q12, Q13, Q17, Q22, Q47, Q50. Now, just to throw this out there, as Corbo was talking about before, with those lotteries, this is one of the greatest things. They are tossing out free stuff for just being here today. So just pay attention for those keywords and you will get free stuff. Also, I just want to throw out a huge shout out to everybody watching right now. We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Now, so finally, let's talk about the teams.
Yeah, and especially with that legendary artifact as well, when we're near the finals, that'll be brilliant. Okay, so...
I want it.
Me too. So now let's talk about the brackets. So there'll be 2 clans facing off, being AOS and Top Clan, which involves AOS Hippopotamus, which is my soul, Supra Vu2222, which is Zense, Eclipse, AOS Draco Lich, and Neptune Graffiti. Then there's the Top Clan, which is Top 11, Top Anti-Fan, Top Star, Top Philomal, and Top Tennessee. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of these names. They're hard to read out. Then the second matchup will be Clan Sexy and Woo, which involves Vostok or Sexy Vostok or and Vampire, Q211, Sexy Q, Sexy L, which is Lexosochi, and Sexy Mega. Then we've got Woo, which is Mini Hissy. Then D4X1K, that might be Dark. Voodoo, Amon-Ra, and Heavy Metal. So there's going to be starting with the 1 versus 1 matches, and all teams will have a 1-star champion, which is going to play 3 1 versus 1 matches in a row. And then we're on to the 2v2 matches.
All right. So, I mean, that's the 2v2s are super fun to watch. Like the strategy that goes into those is insane. We talked about this last week. Like I'm a 1v1 player like through and through. The 2v2s, that's tough stuff.
Yeah, I love 2v2s. I've actually played I'm more of a 2v2 player myself, I'm not gonna lie. I played in like a cup a while back and I managed to win an iPad Pro, which was pretty nice.
Holy.
Yeah, it was like, so you compete in the open tournaments, then you get invited to an invitational. And yeah, it's pretty mad.
Is that what you play on now, the iPad Pro?
No, I actually refunded it because I needed money.
Okay, well,
because I've been playing on the iPad, so I was like, yeah, may as well get the iPad Dosh and then continue playing with my iPad. It's a bit sad though, because now the iPad is starting to play up, so I kind of wish I'd kept the iPad, to be honest.
It's like, don't you wish you would have kept the new one?
Yeah.
But what a bummer.
I know.
Okay, well
these
games, 100%. These games are going to be solid today. We have some really good players, just like we did last week. Just so you can see on the screen, we do have the lottery up. It is !top AOS. Drop it in here. I'm going to do that right now because I think we can win too. Is that a thing? I want the gems, but I do want the legendary artifact.
Oh,
do we know who it's for? Do we know what it is? It's probably for Dora. Bo.
I'm getting the vibe of Chia, to be honest.
Chia, yeah.
That's the graphic they always show with the Chia legendary artifact. I think I don't play the normal game enough. I normally just play in tournament mode because the normal game is difficult because I'm quite low tier, so I can't beat all of the people who are tier 10, even if I'm like to think I'm the better player sometimes.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So I do the events a ton, which gives me a lot of stuff. I think that's where I've leveled up the most. If there's one thing I've learned from the community, it's taking advantage of that. So I've
Yeah.
got so many artifacts, so many runes from doing those events.
Wow.
So we are approaching the first game. I think the players are stretching, they're getting ready, doing their finger exercises. So we talked about this a ton last time, and maybe nobody cares, but you play. We were debating between who plays on a phone and on an iPad. What do you play on most?
Definitely an iPad. I feel like to be a good player on a phone is much more difficult. Like there are some well-known players who are like incredible on the phone, but the professional scene is definitely more dominated by players on an iPad. Like with an iPhone, I'd say there's Rolly, and Alpaca Kid are the two main like professional players that I can think of that play incredibly on the phone.
Huh.
But other than that, mainly iPad. Yeah.
It's iPad, right? I've been playing on the phone for a long time. I tried on the iPad and it's too big. There's so much space. I had so many misclicks. I had to travel so far.
What, you're making more misclicks with the extra space you're given? How does that work?
I'm precise. I'm like an assassin. So let me look into chat here. So we've got El Patrone. I see you, buddy. And he says the eyes of me hoping Cobra will say bottle of water on stream. If he's good, maybe we can.
Yeah, we'll see about that later. We'll see about that later.
You got to earn it. We got Gunner in chat. If you say please, you got it. We got Gunner in chat saying, "Can we get a zoom in on Rex's toy shelf?" No, that's reserved for my streams. Yeah. We got to see if you're all a good audience. Oh, here we go. Hippopotamus versus 11.
Here we go.
Oh no.
Okay, he's just waiting for the hill tower.
It's like he's AFK. Somebody's falling asleep. Okay, so Cobra, tell me about that strategy. Going for the tower versus the other buildings. You see an advantage in that?
I feel like I don't know the exact maths, obviously, but the King of the Hill has way more production than the other buildings, but I don't know if it is actually better to wait. Obviously, it then starts the clocking down of the King of the Hill tower, so he's got an advantage there. But obviously, with the King of the Hill tower right in the middle, you can still get the advantage back if you manage to take the one in the middle. Okay, so they're both going for the tower. It's definitely my soul who's going to take it. Yeah.
Do you know, and it looked like up to the point that they just pushed the tower that Hippopotamus ended up with more. So I think he had the advantage.
Yeah, so maybe the waiting to get the King of the Hill Tower wasn't the strategy. It was more important to begin the expansion at the beginning. And then, yeah, there's just a huge troop advantage right now.
Yeah, I think we have that question answered.
Oh, perfect third. So yeah, this is a huge advantage for my soul here. Or AOS Hippopotamus. Is top 11 going to be able to take that bottom tower? Yes.
But then loses the forge at the same time, and he's probably going to lose his tower.
And the morale difference is just huge. I think this is game already. Wow.
Holy. Well done, Hippopotamus. Also, can we talk about that name? Oh, and he gets the sad trumpets. Sorry, 11. Okay, so let's see. When this starts out, he pushes for the king, right? And then we've got Hippopotamus who goes for more of the buildings. And then I think over time we did see that going for the buildings first gave him the advantage.
Yeah, definitely. It gave him the expansion advantage and the morale, which probably came with it because he was able to upgrade all of his buildings before he went for the King of the Hill Tower and just overall win the game there.
Right. Was there anything that you think 11 could have done differently to win this? Or do you think it was just that initial push that slowed it down?
that initial push would definitely put him at a massive disadvantage. I feel like if he went up top earlier rather than trying to compete down bottom, which is where my soul was clearly going, then if he managed to hold the 10 up top, then maybe he would have had a chance. But because he tried competing for that bottom 15, yes, he took it, but he barely took it, and my soul just completely annihilated that push.
Right. When they both dropped their second down at the bottom, which I don't think gave an advantage either way. It just slowed them both down.
Yeah, I feel like on this map, sometimes you could push for the village and try and prioritize production, but I feel like that happens very rarely because obviously then the buildings are just getting hit by the tower. No, the units are just getting hit by the tower.
Yes. So am I seeing right? The next battle is that dark?
Let's check. No, it looks. I think it's Aeos Hippopotamus again versus top 11.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yep. Yeah. With the 3. Yep.
They're going on a best of 3.
Is dark in today?
Top 11 can sneak it back.
Let's go. This is still the replay, right? We're seeing it again, right?
Yeah.
I have a little bit of PTSD. Last time we spoke all the way through a match like it was a replay. They're like, yeah, that was a rebattle, pal.
Really?
Like, oh shoot, yeah. It was like, wait,
that was probably one of my games
than I remember.
as well.
Oh, it might have been. I felt a little silly.
How dare you? How dare you?
I know. That's how good you were playing last week. Is that we were just like, oh, this is nothing. He'll get it. We just chatted through it. We were talking about like lunch.
Yeah, weirdly, I actually played those games with my nose. So the fact that I won that is just brilliant.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that separates you from the other players is the different body parts that you'll play with. Good gosh.
Like when I won that 2 versus 2 tournament, I was actually playing that with my toes. I've just loved practicing with different body parts. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'd imagine. So I used to play lacrosse, and to get better, you would have to practice with your least dominant side. So obviously, that's like the exact same principle. To play there. Yeah, clearly. Yeah, that was a quick victory there. See, I've always wondered that. I'll see people go for the king of the hill, and then I'll see people go. I've kind of experimented with both, but I think watching these two players do that. Okay, what do we see in here? We've started it over again. We are going to discuss this game to the grave.
Make sure we don't think it's a replay. So the same openings, which I still... Let's double check this, but it did seem... Oh, is this not? Oh, it is the replay. Done that.
Yeah, it's just a replay. So I'm checking in chat. Looks like we got people restarting games and stuff. They'll be all right. So Cobra, tell me, how long have you been playing Mushroom Wars, and when did you hit the professional scene?
I mean, I don't even think I'd consider myself a professional anymore, to be honest. I've really been slacking in my gameplay. We've been practicing a lot for this cup because I was a bit nervous about playing against someone who I've never seen before. Oh, sure. We have begun.
Holy, they're throwing us in. What's happening?
So it seems like Aeos Hippopotamus is expanded to the top, which should have been top 11 side. There is a specific opener you can do there to like try and win that building, and also it seemed like top 11 probably went for the King of the Hill too early to have protected the building that Hippopotamus ended up expanding to. So yes, top 11 has begun the countdown earlier, but he's also got a loss of a building, so we'll have to see how this plays out.
So it's almost like the strategy's flipped. It's like 11 went for King of the Hill first, Hippopotamus. No. Yeah, they switched. They went for the top, the old switcheroo.
Ooh, going for the... Now this could be a really big part for top 11 here, gaining some massive morale. but also still has the plague on it. But that was a wasted. I don't really like
He's
what
still pushing
Hippopotamus
it,
is
even
doing.
though
He's
he
still
knew.
4 stars morale difference. If he takes that, no, the second
No,
was used
it was
perfectly.
interesting because he kept pushing it, even though I mean it had like 90 and he pushed with 30.
Yeah, I think that was a silly mistake. Now the morale difference is massive. He's used his slow aggressively rather than defensively, so it's going to be a really hard defense here. He's going for the Forge and the King of the Hill.
Ooh,
Definitely taking the King of the Hill. He's going to use second on the Forge.
he needs to push his troops
Oh,
out of there right away. Oh dang!
this is... Can my soul come back from this? Is the second going to come out? No, it doesn't. Okay. If he keeps this tower, he should be okay. Oh, but he lost 3 buildings at once. Wow. And his main building, so that's lowered his level of production too. And the top 11's just holding the King of the Hill tower too. I think this
It's
is game.
just barely. I kept thinking he was going to take it, but he just couldn't get it.
If he had managed to hold that defense just then, I think there would have been a comeback on the cards. But unfortunately, he lost 3 buildings at once. Just slight mismanagement of units. I think it's because top 11 managed to take the Forge, and that gave him the extra attack power to take both the King of the Hill and his home building.
Absolutely. Do you know, bummer that we missed the opener in this, because I think that is obviously where games are won and lost. So with this opener, you think, so he took his main and then pushed straight across enemy lines to that top one?
Yeah.
The plan there?
Oh, and congratulations to Gunner, who won the 1,000 Gems giveaway.
Look at that, Gunner. You just got to sit and watch something you love, and they're paying you for it. Well done.
One of the richest players in Mushroom Game that I know has just won an extra 1,000 gems to his already mighty portfolio.
Is that a true thing?
I think he's got quite a lot of gems. He's pretty high ranked. Oh, and the next game is beginning. UT, I love this character. There's one of the new heroes and one of my favorite to play for sure. So pretty, I wouldn't say standard from top 11 at all, actually. The Hippopotamus's opener, I'd say, is pretty the normal opener, giving extra expansion to the right side. But Hippopotamus didn't manage to take the village on the left. Are they going to attack each other, or are they just going to expand? Okay. So top 11, it seems, has a slight advantage with an extra building, but what will my soul's response be? Just to chill?
Let's
Oh,
see.
but
It
top
looks like
11's
he's
going
going
for
to
a big
reinforce
attack.
the top a little bit.
Brilliant use
Oh,
of,
and then he gets hit with the fourth.
brilliant use of
Instantly
that
countered
fourth
by
there.
the
But
third.
the tower's been taken, and then the second to defend the tower. But there's a big morale
Holy
drift now.
hippopotamus.
So if he manages to take that forge, which he will, I think the advantage is now in the favor of my soul.
Yeah, it looks like he.
Oh, I think this game
Hippopotamus is now going to
almost
start
done.
sweeping through.
That's the issue with this game, is if you do an attack, even if you do take a couple of buildings, but if you use too many units, especially with tier 5, you're going to lose so much morale. And morale is literally the be-all or end-all with this game, is the issue. And that's game. Top 11 is going to try and defend, but there's nothing you can do. Okay. So those are the
2 for AOS, 1 for top. Well done.
Those are the best of 3 won by my soul.
So looking at this opener here, what gave him the advantage? Like, was that kind of a clear thing at the start? Show us when things started tilting.
So I would say that top 11's opener, now it wasn't normally the conventional opener. You wouldn't normally see it, but because normally someone goes for that 10, but they didn't go for the 10, but they did get the early expansion. So in my opinion, in this position, top 11 does have the advantage. But then the reason why I think the morale flipped is because he went for the reckless attack, which yes, he won a building or so, maybe? We'll find out in a second. And yeah, he won the tower, but he lost so much morale, giving my soul such a big counter attack. And the fourth was just crazy.
right
the
there.
fourth was so good. It ate like 100 units, and he's got top 11 just had nothing in his back line, and he's still trying to defend the tower. And my soul clearly realized this and used that to his advantage. And
yeah, I think with the fourth and then the well placed just then, yeah, yep.
Yeah, and definitely the top 11 second, I think, was the issue. If he'd concentrated on defending, now he had taken the tower, then maybe he would have had a chance. But it was just that was such a good.
And the morale difference, like his troops were cruising.
Exactly.
It's that makes a huge difference.
Whenever I play UT, because he's one of the few newer characters that I've unlocked, I always struggle with the fourth, because I always, Dora has a similar fourth, but it's a magnet. All the units actually do get used into it, but it doesn't work the same way as magnet, and I keep using it like a magnet. I'm using it on my own units and then losing all of them.
Right, because it's rather than just pulling them in, right, and just being like whoever is there, it just kills everything.
Everything's dead, even your own units, and using it aggressively is perfect. Okay, and the next game, Zense, one of my favorite players in the game, against someone who I'd never heard of before this tournament, but he really stood his own against a really well-known player, Vampire. Like, Vampire's incredible. So the fact that top anti-fan managed to pull some wins from him was it 3 wins? I think he won every single game, which is just incredible.
That's insane.
So standard openers from both sides, but Zense known for an attack in the back.
Super stressful. Where's he going? I know he's sweating. Oh no, he's just gonna let him take it. Boom.
Use the forward, but he took the back line.
That back.
But that gave anti-fan his third. So the morale advantage is to anti-fan. And I don't really like this attack from Zense. It's such an easy defend. Like, even though it's actually worked really well.
Oh, dang it. Almost held it.
But now the morale flipped. Now the morale has flipped. 3 stars to top anti-fan. That's going to be the free forge for anti-fan. But he hasn't been expanding down below, whereas Zense has. He's just been letting his troops build up, and that's not very good for anti-fan. But now he's just starting to advance. Now these little pop chip attacks,
building on the top,
which is evening out the morale.
Okay, we got him.
Weirdly, I would say now from this it's a very back and forth game for sure. But if Zense manages to take back that building, this is such a back and forth game. It's hard to commentate. So Zense using his fourth. Okay.
We got a counter down at the bottom. So he's going to hang on to his building.
Just about. Really well played from top anti-fan. The morale is still in the favor of anti-fan, but the units is in favor of Zense. Okay, so I think everyone's just going to chill out and expand maybe. No, he's going for the King of the Hill. The thing with the King of the Hill is that it has the same defense as a level 1 building, so it doesn't. It's very weak to attacks. That's why they're attacking the King of the Hill.
He snatches his tower, uses the distraction to snatch his 2 bottom buildings. Oh, just hangs on to him. Well done. Perfect
use of the first. But is Zense going to... No, he's not going to hold the village. But another fourth coming through from Zense. A huge fourth. Might give... If he manages to... He does take the King of the Hill. I'd say Zense has the slight advantage now because not enough units are at the bottom for top anti-fan. Although... this is so bad.
Oh my gosh. Strong attack for the bottom. And then he's going to probably lose the forge for... Yeah.
Lose the forge for the big attack. Yeah, you're right. Is he going to lose both forges? He is.
Ooh. We got a fourth dropping in. He's going to spread to the bottom 2 buildings, which he will not take.
Oh, wow. Zense with a huge defense. It's evened up the morale. But the issue, once you hit this high stars of morale, it's hard to lose the morale. You have to really do a really bad attack if you want to lose it. But a huge take of the tower, because he's just checking if there's any buildings with not many units in, and luckily that tower had barely any in.
Holy,
now,
he's going for a huge attack on the top. Oh, and he holds
but
it.
the timer ran out.
Well,
I wasn't even paying attention to the timer because of how back and forth that was. What a crazy
and the sad
game.
trumpets come in. Can anybody explain why we've got sad trumpets? What are those?
I want the happy trumpet.
I know, but every once in a while you get a happy trumpet. Is the game like rooting for someone?
It's clearly rooting for top.
Well, that's the kind of game that we want in this. That it came down to the timer. That was such a back and forth, like you said. That was kind of hard to commentate on because it was like the flow. No one had that throughout the whole game. I mean, that was really good back and forth.
That was ridiculous. And there was only 17 points on the timer as well. Zense had 17 points left when he lost that game. If he had managed to hold on to that other King of the Hill for another... what's 17 divided by 2? 9 seconds. If he had managed to hold on to the second one for an extra 9 seconds, he would have won that game.
Oh, man. You know, if looks like you were trying to get me to do math there. I told him the one condition on commentating is that you don't make me do math live.
I'm sorry.
You crossed that line.
I will never do it again, I promise.
Chat, how was that game for all of you? That was intense. We've got a solid group watching. Chinny, I see you. Welcome in, sir.
Yeah,
that was great. That's the kind of game we want. Or
that was probably one of the best games I've seen in a very long time. Sad Zense won because I'm really rooting for Zense. He's one of my favorite players. He's the most aggressive player professional player I know. Sometimes it does bite him in the bum, but there are times where you watch his gameplay and he's just doing the most incredible attacks. And there's some players who play very passive. I'm a passive player personally, and it's very smart to play that way because you're trying to farm the morale, get the troop advantage, and then you go for an attack when you have the advantage. But Zense doesn't care. He'll just attack. He'll get the morale from taking the buildings because you get morale from taking them. But sometimes it does not work out, where it didn't work out here today, sadly.
Yeah, that was really well fought by both of them. Like it came down to the wire. Like that could have gone anyway.
100%.
Like if it wasn't a King of the Hill, who knows who would have won that? That was insane.
Exactly, because there's still a few minutes left on the timer.
See, so what's his gamer tag in there? We got Supra with blow off valve noises.
Voo 2.
Right?
Love it.
Looks like he's a Supra fan. That's fine.
Top anti-fan, for someone who I've genuinely never really heard of before, beating Zense and Vampire, like incredible player. I wish I'd heard of him before. I think Top have been practicing a lot. I was talking to Top Tennessee, who I believe is their captain, during the first cup last week, because he's they beat Sexy, who I thought was a top contender to win this Clan Cup overall. But here we go into the next game. Top anti-fan against Eclipse. Now, Eclipse is known to be the best player in Mushroom Wars 2 back in the day, but he hasn't been playing as much recently. So let's see if he can actually pull it out back and beat Top anti-fan, who
if he can
is the newcomer.
Bring that title out of the garbage can. He was one of the top players up until the accident.
Up until the accident, that's brilliant. Oh, he doesn't manage to get the snake, so Eclipse does manage to take that top building.
Oh, hangs on. That's going to hurt the morale a little bit there. He's going to lose his forge.
Huge seconds
forge
from Eclipse to counter the second, knowing that all of Top Anti-Fan's units are going for that forge. So
now it's not taking those 2
10s. Huge morale advantage. I think honestly that's just big fourth to to defend the king of the
Okay.
to defend the tower and the king of the hill.
He's going to hang on to that forge after this attack.
Not a good
Solid.
attack from
That'll
Eclipse
even out
there.
morale there.
But I think Eclipse is going to save for his fourth. He's got his third now. If he gets his fourth, then he can take the tower most likely. This is such a crazy close game again.
The back and forth is insane. Now,
just fighting for the forge.
What's the advantage of not? They both have not taken those 10s on the bottom.
So the reason why they're not taking the 10s at the bottom is because if they expand down to those 10s too early, then the other player is going to take advantage of the units being spent to go down there to then attack a forge, for example.
Gotcha.
It's
Okay.
so weak. So they're just concentrating
instantly
on
takes that.
He's going to use his third, and it works.
And he takes it.
The third is massive. That tower is going to do so well for him. And unfortunately, Top Anti-Fan he tried to defend the forge too much there, and that's why he lost his King of the Hill. And the King of the Hill with the mad production, giving him the King of the Hill timer. Although Eclipse managed to lose his tower to the units he sent to himself. Because he used his third, sent it to the tower, and then still lost the tower knowing those units were going in.
It's a ballsy strategy, but it seemed to pay off.
Yeah, that has to be game now. But brilliant. Top Anti-Fan, man. I am loving his play style, his gameplay. He is genuinely one of the best players I've seen in a while. For someone,
and you're saying that you're not as familiar with that player. So tell me some of the stuff that stands out to you about his strategy. What are you liking?
He is very good at expanding, and he knows. So with snakes, when you send a snake somewhere, the size of the units gets smaller, and he can tell that there isn't many units in a building because the snake is small. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yep. When
because
only
the initial
one unit
push is more troops.
Yeah, so
and then
when only one unit is
less.
coming out, so when only one unit is coming out per tap, that is a good sign to tell you that there aren't many units left in that building. So currently the score is 3-2 to AOS. Obviously, I'm probably going to be supporting AOS because they are my blood, my home. So I'm very happy with the score so far. But brilliant games.
So we're sitting at top, AOS 3 top 2. Oh my goodness, we got another lottery going. It is exclamation GG's. We have somebody in chat claiming to have taught that move to Eclipse. Chinny.
Yeah. I was there. I watched
Chinny
teach it. Chinny.
Oh my gosh.
I'd personally say Chinny's 10 times better than Eclipse. Easy.
Chinny's a solid player. I said this last time. There's been many times I've been gently strapped to his back and carried across the finish line.
What, on 2 versus 2?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'll be playing and I'll get the little invite. And I'm like, does he have fun when we do this? Like, is this what we're doing? I
what
just
tier
show up
are you
and climb on in. What tier am I? Where's my phone? I don't know. I was tier. Yeah. So I'm probably sitting at, let's pull it up. I've been advancing just so fast. It's hard to keep track.
Speed running the game.
Just cruising, just like an absolute psychopath.
Yeah. I've decided to only really commit my time to playing the game when during the events there's a new hero to unlock, because my main mission is to try and collect as many heroes as possible. But here we are, the next game is beginning.
Grind.
Now, for me, I will be shocked if Eclipse and Zense manage to lose this. But with Top Anti-Fan there, I genuinely don't know which way it's going to go.
I love this map.
This is my favorite map. I love this map so much. I won a crazy game on this map. Interesting opener from Top Anti-Fan. He's going for the 15 early, but no one's deciding to try and counter that. Oh, Top Star versus Eclipse for the village. and Zense uses the first to counter that. But also, Top Anti-Fan using the perfect first as well. So it's 2 stars for Eclipse and 2 stars for Anti-Fan. Now let's see how they're going to try and use the morale advantage. The attack's interesting there because Top Anti-Fan sent him from far away. You want to really combine your units together. But brilliant response, taking the middle building. And defense with top star. But that's leaving 0 units in his back line. Surely Eclipse can tell. Well, Zense can tell at least.
Oh, yeah. He caught it right away.
No, he's got no units in his back line. This is a free home base for AOS.
But then do we have the trade? Kind of.
I think he can trade. He's got so many units in the middle. But really good support from Eclipse coming in. I think.
Okay, so he loses 2, but they lose
a whole
base.
But also, Top Anti-Fan does have 3 buildings in the middle, so there's only a 1 building difference. And Top Anti-Fan, he's been playing brilliantly. I think he has a chance. But Eclipse, as we know, has the most crazy snakes of all time. The perfect 4th from top star. The morale is basically equal even with that attack though, because they've been upgrading, and as I said earlier, once you have that much morale, you have to really do a bad attack to lose. For me here personally, I would be waiting and trying to take the King of the Hill Tower, starting that countdown. But Zense is a crazy aggressive player, so I do not expect him to stick with what I would do. But
oh my goodness, we got a 4th coming out. Doesn't do anything here.
Wasted 4th.
He's going to charge into the base. Oh my gosh, and he's going to start making a dent there.
Eclipse is going to have to use his 3rd to take that back. Oh, wow. I think Top Anti-Fan is about to win this. 5 stars morale. This is crazy.
He is cruising. The Forge, he's going to hang on to that in the bottom.
Zense is just chucking away units. Okay, Eclipse is taking the Forge back. That's very big. There's not many units left in that top base, but Zense has just given him the home base. Like, he keeps attacking a really healthy Forge. The Forge has so many units in, and he's just wasting units into it.
It's like hundreds are in there.
Yeah, so he should have known that. Like, it was a very well defended base.
And can Eclipse make the comeback?
Okay, Top Anti-Fan going for their back line, which is very smart. They've got 2 Forges there, and I think that's game.
Okay, we got the Forge coming out.
Attacking that Forge, my friend, please.
I think he's pulled it off. Holy.
And now there's just 6 units stuck in Zense's Forge. They're not producing anything. Oh. And I think that's game for top. Wow.
Jeez.
Anti-Fan, you're my guy. Wow. What a brilliant fight.
Holy, yeah, he really held his own on that last
especially
one.
after top star lost his entire home base.
Right. Yeah, he lost everything, and at that point, that's extremely unbalanced. Like, I mean, that was his to. He was on his way out. I thought
if Zense and Eclipse, in my opinion, if they both just played it slow from the position they had, they would have had the win. But as I said, Zense is one of my favorite players, but he does love to play aggressive. And that's
where if they would have just slowed it down when it was the 2v1, that they could have pulled it out. Because I mean, there's a lot of attack in that Forge in the bottom, which had at like any given time like 100 troops in it.
Exactly.
It was a healthy Forge.
It was so secure, but Zense was just like, give it to me. Maybe Zense thought that Eclipse would use his 3rd on the Forge, and there was a bit of a miscommunication there. Because obviously, if Eclipse had used his third on that forge, then perfect. He would have defended. He would have been okay. He would have taken the forge, and then they would have had a solid position. But Eclipse decided not to use his third, and therefore fed Anti-Fan the 5-star morale, which he managed to keep for the rest of that game. And Anti-Fan just brought it back. Crazy.
That morale made a big difference.
See it. Do you notice how morale really changes the game? You can have 100-unit deficit and still win just from 5-star to 2-star. Is crazy.
So if you find yourself in a morale deficit, what are things that you do to help counter that?
So for me personally, is I just completely shell up, turtle up, that's the word. Completely try and defend. Build a tower if you can. If you've got a tower which is going to shoot a lot of units, and try your best to defend that next attack. Because if you defend that next attack, they'll lose some morale and you will gain a lot, and then you're in the morale advantage, and then hopefully you can turn it round.
Right.
And you should also need to be willing to sacrifice a base sometimes to gain that morale. If there's a building which is a bit weak, you have to, sometimes you do have to sacrifice that building to try and get that morale back, and then maybe they'll have overextended. If they overextend, then you can attack their back line, and then you can get the win. See, just played there. Zense is attacking, but Eclipse is so busy defending his home base. So in that position, he needed to not attack the forge, because Eclipse can't know that unless they're in voice. But he just used his third. And here we go. Eclipse and Vu. Let's see if they can bring this back. Top Philomel in swap with Anti-Fan, who if I remember correctly, was also a crazy good player in that last cup. I think top.
Oh, we've got a little swap here.
Yeah.
Star pushing the main.
Loves to. So this, I call it the Moon Shadow opening. So Moon Shadow loves to. I think Moon Shadow kind of coined it and began it, where he lets the other player expand all of his building. Lets the other guy get all of the below bit, but I think it's just a bit too reckless, because Zense is just pushed so well, and Eclipse is pushing up top too, and I think this is just game straight away, to be honest. There's 100 units for and he gave up. So with that opening, normally you would have the red guy, so who was feeding the other person units. He would normally, at the Moon Shadow opening, I think they normally expand to the 10 to then at least have a slight solid ground, because if you don't have 2 buildings, then the home base was just so easy for Zense to attack and take it.
Right. Oh, and they saw that right away and pushed, which I think is what cost them the game.
Ultimately. If you don't push there, though, you can lose, because the expansion that the green guy gains is just so much morale, because you're upgrading the buildings, you're gaining all the morale, you've expanded a lot, so you've gained mana to then use you'll have your third skill before Vu and Eclipse even get their second. So you've got your third, and Stella, one of the best thirds in the game. If he manages to expand and defend their pushes, then the advantage would have been for Philomel. But brilliant pushes from Zense, especially at the beginning, and I guess Eclipse did all right.
Yeah, right. No, that's so good to see those strategies, and it's interesting how you can recognize them right off the bat, what they're doing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've played a lot of 2 versus 2, and I've played it a lot with Zense and Eclipse. They're probably the 2 players I've played with most, probably, in the game.
Right.
I play with them a lot. We always go back and forth, me and Zense, about who wins and stuff, and then Eclipse and I Eclipse was actually my teammate in the cup where we won the iPad Pro. We were against Q211 and D179 or DI79, something like that. And it was crazy close. There was a best of 5, but it ended up being like a best of 7 because we were playing it like table tennis, where you had to win 2 in a row to win the actual.
Oh my
final.
gosh! Right.
So, and we're playing the disadvantage maps too.
Oh my gosh!
The ones which
we got lots of
meant to be
GGs in
tournament
chat.
mode. Yes.
Is this going how some of you thought it would go? How is this turning out? We got lots of GGs. Let's see. Roll Nose saying, I can confirm Chinny is a master in this game. Chinny's great. Alpatroni, how's this for you watching? All right. Oh, we got Boggy. I don't know how to pronounce that character. Boggy. I love that character so much.
He is very broken, in my opinion. So we got Neptune.
You're not wrong.
And AOS Draco Leech and Top Tennessee and Top Star. So Neptune Gravity and Draco were teammates last week as well. So Top Tennessee going in for a big attack. Perfect use of the first. It's like a mini plague, that first.
And then we got the mines.
Yeah.
Is it going to be enough?
Will Draco be able to take that back? I don't think they will. Oh! They managed to stop it, but look at the morale. The morale is just... I don't think they have a chance, especially with that perfect attack on the Forge. Not many units. And they're just... Yeah, that's game.
Wow, well played, guys.
So the issue there, I'd say, was they expanded perfectly, that's fine. But they didn't concentrate on defending their closest buildings, which needed to be defended. So that's why Top Tennessee was able. That attack was successful. If they had defended that building better, then the advantage would have been for Draco, because they would have defended and gained massive morale, and then could have done a counter attack. And also, they didn't have.
So here's a super noob question here. When they build the Forge, does that benefit both teams or both? The whole team as a whole, is it just your team?
Just your team, yeah. Just your team.
I figured as much,
so it's just
chat.
Green is getting the Forge power. So that's why normally when you play 2v2s, you have one player getting a support. So you've got the support role and the attack role. And normally there's one of each. Obviously, you can mix it up. If one player gains more extra morale from defending, then they can switch and become the attacking role. But normally you have like a designated person who's doing the most attacking and who's doing the most supporting.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, So we do have a winner for the giveaway. I'm not going to attempt to read your name, but if you're in chat, you should read it and enjoy your prize.
Yes, congratulations, player.
Player, yes.
Yeah, and so has that just rolled up the scores? I think it might have done. I think the score is 4-4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes, it is 4-4. And we're into the final game. Who will win, AOS or Top? Will there be any crazy rushes from the start? Top Philomel,
Crispo, I see you.
It's whoever wins this right side is going to get a huge advantage. Needs to use the first, but he didn't use it in time. But he has managed to take the Forge. But will Philomel be able to support him? He has supported him.
Oh, and he's going to push straight into the base immediately after. I think he's losing that.
And
hits with the quicksand and then he pushes straight.
Neptune Gravity just has to do a big attack, and he's going for one, but will it be successful? I don't think so, because he's not building a Forge.
He's going to counter that.
But also we're playing with Trini, so the Forge would just be frozen, and I think that's game again. The score is 5-4. AOS need to win this next game if they want a chance of coming back from this. Will there be a tiebreaker? Do you know if there's a tiebreaker if the score ends up 5-5?
Let's find out. Give me 1 second. Yeah, that was a solid game. The difference between this week and last week is that this has been a back and forth the whole
Mm.
time. Like
I
last week, if you remember, you what, 3 in a row? You won 3 in a row?
Yeah, it was
Personally,
a much less competitive in the nice. I don't mean it in a rude way, but this
what
is
you're saying is that you're a solid player and you did your job.
I. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
That's it. You did a good job.
Yeah. But this is crazy. 4-5. I think top really like for me was an underdog in coming into the tournament, but the way they played against Sexy and now my clan AOS, they're just playing brilliantly. It's incredible.
So I'm just seeing at the end of the week, we're being told stuff. So it's wins and by points. So it is round robin. There is no tiebreaker.
Okay, so if it goes to 5-5, then it will be whoever has the most points. Nice. So what a crazy game. The next game will be coming up soon.
This really has been back and forth. That is so fun to watch.
Well, I think the reason why AOS lost that game is Top Tennessee had the better, so they combined more units together to go into that forge. So Top Tennessee, almost all of his units hit the forge at the same time, therefore doing a lot of damage instantly. Whereas Neptune had a few units going in on the right, and then the bulk of his forces following in afterwards. So that first trickle made him lose a bit of morale, and then he tried attacking again, and it therefore lost. And now the last game.
Sure. Okay, so it's top 5 AOS 4, so AOS has got to pull some magic.
Yeah, for sure. For me personally here, I think only one player should take all the middle buildings. So, but Top Tennessee takes the bottom right, bottom left one as well. They just don't want to give one player anything into 2 games. It's pretty crazy. So remember, on this map, every 30 seconds there is a freeze which happens. So players really need to be careful of that. If they send an attack all the way to their back line with even 15, 20 seconds left, they will get freeze before they reach there, and both teams need to make sure that they're aware of that, unless they're Chia, which in my opinion is so broken on this map, and uses his wind to speed up all the units. See, Top Philomal sending some units out, it gets frozen because it hit the 5-minute mark. An incoming attack from Top Tennessee. Looks like he's going for their back line. Interesting. Oh, and the forward. He's going for both.
And they swap both immediately.
Huge swap. I think as preparation for that swap, what both teams should have done there was build an extra forge to keep that extra attack damage going. So now a big attack could come from Draco. In my opinion, go straight for the King of the Hill, which he's doing. Yes, but Philomal does have wind.
Oh, it got close, but not good enough.
Okay. So Draco needs to defend the forge a little bit, the King of the Hill, because it has such little defense. And Neptune needs to give some units away, share them around. Draco doesn't have many units, and he's got the forge, so he's going to be doing the main bulk of attacking. Oh, but he times it perfectly to take the King of the Hill. Now, Neptune really needs to send some
Looks
units
like he's
to
going to grab that
here.
forge. Oof.
He doesn't send any to his teammate. Maybe Neptune, if he takes the forge, which he needed to there, that could have been a horrible switch for Draco. Oh, but perfect use of third. Not gonna lie, the third with what's this new hero called? I forget.
Banshee,
yes. With the third of this, it confuses me a little bit because it makes me think it's like Unk's second, but it's not.
Right.
Okay, so huge morale advantage for Top Tennessee. Gonna take that King of the Hill. but somehow the bottom
How,
king of
how
the
did
hill.
that go neutral? I totally missed how that happened.
I think Neptune used his fourth, and the desert units from the fourth managed to take that building somehow, which is just crazy. And I think this might be game, you know.
Yeah, they're
Another
reinforcing
mistake I
those.
think Neptune just did slightly was in that situation, you want to be attacking someone who isn't in control. So you want to be attacking the blue guy because he's not going to do anything. If you give him some morale, he can't do anything with that. He only has one building. It's
Sure.
not very important to feed someone who has only one building left morale. So that's why that's a really good little tip you can have when attacking. And Top Tennessee's just going to play it nice and slow, let the King of the Hill countdown to go down. How long do they have? So unless
330 seconds. I mean, they've got time.
true,
Their
I mean that
morale
means
is
that the
low.
King of the Hill timer won't finish if even with the time left, because there's 100.
Yeah, we're sitting at a minute 45.
Minute 45, so it won't complete. But I'm pretty sure that the rules of this involve if there is a draw at the end of the game and the King of the Hill countdowner is lower for one player, that player will win the game. So so that means that Neptune and Draco really have to completely win, but are they just going to do nothing?
Are
He's
they aware that they have a minute left?
I think what they're trying to do is farm some morale so that they can go in for a big attack. But they don't have long left to do that attack. I think they're going to have to wait until after this freeze and then go in for a big attack and keep their fingers crossed, to be honest. This is not a good position for them.
And their morale's low too. I can't imagine that this is going to...
So the reason why Neptune used his first there. But what a perfect use of fourth. That was gorgeous. And I think this is game again. I think this is going to top. Crazy game, though. Yeah. He does take the King of the Hill, but it's just a bit too late. And 0 point in Neptune taking that forge. And now there's 30 seconds left. A big fourth from Top Tennessee. And 4 stars to nothing. It's just game here. And GG's. And that brings the end of our set of AOS versus Top. And the score was 6-4, well done, guys. I think. Yeah.
We got Sam in chat saying, gosh, I hate this map.
Weirdly, practicing this map, I had some really fun games on it. It was very back and forth. I was practicing it with Draco, Eclipse, and Zense, and I was very impressed with Draco. He played it really well. It was just unfortunate he couldn't bring that to the cup. He played it pretty well still, just a few mistakes.
Yeah, GG's, guys. Yeah. Top sitting at 6, AOS sitting at 4. Really solid games back and forth. Looks like AOS was solid in the 1v1s. 2v2s, Top just pulled ahead.
Yeah. This Clan Cup could be going the way of Top. They've got Wu next, and AOS managed to beat Wu, so Top have a very good chance of beating Wu as well, seeing as they beat AOS.
We're going to be moving into the... So we're going to be moving into Sexy and Woo. So exclamation, Sexy Woo.
Yeah,
do you know, I was talking last time, Sexy needs clan shirts where it just says Sexy and then it's a little mushroom character. Let those who know enjoy that shirt.
That would be brilliant. Start mass producing it. Get a sponsor of Red Bull, something crazy. And you never know, Mushroom Girls be the biggest game in the world.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah, I'll tell you, when I tell like my little nieces and nephews, I'm like, yeah, I do commentating for this game. They're like, what is that? I'm like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I was doing the exact same thing yesterday, telling my friend.
They're like, I'm kind of a big deal. Don't worry about it. All right.
It's all right,
Sexy
man.
woo in chat. Boom.
I'm really intrigued to see if you win this prize.
I got to go for the legendary one.
The
I shouldn't
commentator's
even.
winning.
It's not rigged, I promise. Give me that legendary.
Let me speak to all
I
the
need it.
producers in the background. Please, I need the gems. I need the gems.
Become a super diva. I felt super bad too, because this is early for me today. Like I cut it close, but I was like, I will be there. I don't want to
Yeah,
be
you've
a
done
like
well waking
diva
up so early.
commentator. It
For
was
me,
early.
I'm very cozy. It's 3 p.m. for me, middle of the day. I'm vibing out. The sun has gone down because I'm in England and the weather sucks, but
The sun has gone down because the weather's bad, not because the planet's
well,
turning.
the sun is still there. It's just behind a lot of clouds.
Look at this. I started out in the dark. We are literally watching the sunrise behind me.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that
it's
you're
just going to get
looking up.
brighter. Yeah, it's just going to get brighter and brighter, and then eventually I'm just going to get washed out, and all you'll see is just like the outline of my glasses.
And all your
Where's he
background
going?
little toys.
Yeah, those are great. I have to admit, I am just an older child, and yes, I do have a background full of Star Wars toys.
That's bad. I like it. I like it. I was about to say a word I shouldn't be saying on stream, so I just said the word "that's bad," but that doesn't. I didn't mean it. It's bad. I mean it's cool.
I was so deeply offended. I couldn't even contain my rage.
That
So I'll just
sucks.
keep commentating, but you'll see the tears just slowly coming down.
Just staring at the camera, a tear
Like,
trickling
is he okay?
down.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah,
Forget about
no,
Rex, man.
Is he okay? I think he made fun of his toy collection and he's sad.
But yeah, how's
All right,
everyone
chat,
doing today?
predictions.
Everyone good?
We need predictions for Woo and Sexy. I tend to favor Team Sexy because I think the name is fantastic.
It is a brilliant name. I wonder what Woo, if Woo stands for anything. For example, with AOS, we're Art of Shrooms, or Shroom, which is pretty fun. We have a little Discord where everyone all hangs out. And I only just realized recently that the Discord, on Discord, you've got the image. It spells AOS in it, which is really bad for me because I've been in this clan for about maybe a year, 2 years now, and I've only just noticed that about a week ago. But I think that's really cool.
Wait, what image?
So
in Discord, you say?
In Discord, you've got the servers, and on the left, it's got all of the images of the servers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ours has AOS spelt out in it, but I just thought it was some cool, weird R, but it does spell AOS.
It's beginning. We've got the beginning of Sexy and Woo.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I love
and
this
also,
map.
just
This
to
is
point
probably
out,
my favorite
AOS
map.
is winning at 13 and top is sitting at 12 points. So that is close.
Really good expansion from Woom Mini Hissy here. He took out the top right building, which Vostok was trying to expand to. And now he's going for a big attack. But I don't know if this is going to pull off. Vostok has a lot of units ready to defend that forward. But, he barely didn't take it.
Dang, not enough.
That's so unfortunate. Now the morale is 3 stars to 0. What is Vostok going to do with that advantage? Is he going to just continue expanding, playing it safe? Or is he's going to expand? He's going to take the 50. Which I think is relatively smart. He could have done some crazy attack. But I think, honestly, maybe wait for your third. Use your third really well, and then you'll have an even bigger advantage. A strategy I like to do with plot.
But just leaves it as a tower there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Normally, I would change that into a village or a forge to give myself more attack or more production. Now, Mini Hissy, the morale is equalized because Vostok's been expanding a lot. And very bad for from Mini Hissy. Vostok used his second as soon as he saw the fourth getting placed, and therefore the fourth. It's very difficult to use a good fourth on the plots versus plots because obviously they have a second which just defends any sort of attack from it.
Right. And then obviously that fourth. So how many buildings does that spread to when they use that? And it deals damage to everyone?
It doesn't do damage to every single one because I know it's screwed me over a few times. Like I've tried attacking buildings which just don't get affected by the fourth, and I'm just really sad about that. But
I have a little bird whispering in my ear that it's 5. It spreads to 5.
It spreads to 5. Okay, that was a really good defense from Mini Hissy. Equalized the morale and very good third actually, because it looked like Vostok was trying to attack the forge, but he actually wasn't. So I would have used that third in a similar position. But he just doesn't take that village with 1 unit. And yeah, Wu Mini Hissy needed to use his second there to defend from that fourth.
Ooh, it hits him with the fourth.
If that fourth was defended with the second, Mini Hissy would have still been in the game, but he didn't. And now 4 stars to morale to 0 and double the units. That's just game. Good game from Vostok. Very well played. Boss.
Sexy takes the first point. All right, so what's the distinguishing factor here between the two? Where do you think the game shifted more towards Voss?
So right at the beginning, so the expansion, both players played it pretty perfectly. Vostok, in my opinion, made a silly decision to even expand to the top. That just wasted some units. Mini Hissy took it back instantly. But the main problem with Mini Hissy was he then did a massive attack to the forge when there were so many units defending it. But actually almost worked though, because there was only around how many units? It went down to 5
comes down to
units.
3.
4, 3.
2,
1 unit. They had 1 unit left. So it almost pulled off. And then he could have used his second to defend it. And he would have been in an all right position. But for me, that's just such a reckless attack, which Vostok having so many units ready to defend it. And then
so then when Voss pushes that tower, see, I would have changed that, like you were saying, to a forge or maybe another building, but just keeps it. Do you think there was any kind of advantage of doing that, or maybe just to not lose morale as he's walking through?
I think I think that's exactly why, Rex. He took the tower so that whenever he's going for any sort of attack, he can just not get shot by the tower. And he doesn't want to waste units in the change, maybe. For me personally, I would have turned that straight into a forge and done some attack with it, to be honest. But yeah. So on to the next game. They've done mirror expansions. They've done the exact same thing, but Vostok is going for the King of the Hill with a forge. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of this map, unfortunately. So, is doing it with a forge better, or is it doing it without a forge better because you're wasting less units? But having a forge is vital for this part. The huge expansion Vostok has got. And Mini Hissy is just way behind, even though he used his first to get more production. But Vostok just had the better opener, it seems. He knew how to expand there, didn't he? And to be honest, that's just game already. 2 stars to nothing.
He's going to take that king right away. It'll just be the slow kill here.
And just perfect second to stop the third coming in. And now he's just going to expand and just slowly continue with the out morale. Mini Hissy does have some skills to hand though. So will he be able to do anything with it? He's going to have to use his third somewhere. He uses it, but it's just going to be so easy for Vostok to take it back. He has so much more morale, and he Didn't even need to use that third, honestly. He could have just taken it back, but it's better.
I think at this point, he's just hanging on to his buildings.
Yeah.
I mean, he has nearly double troops, no morale. Yeah. GG's.
And that's game. Wow.
Now,
I think
now Cobra, we've got there's one of the giveaway things that doesn't quite match up. Can you read those? What's going on in there?
Oh,
you see that in chat?
What
we got Sexy Woo, and then El Patroni's got one that
bottle of water. Oh shoot! I almost said
it. He's trying.
A bottle of water. There you go. I said it. All right. You got what you want.
Congratulations, Crispo, for winning the giveaway. Well done. I saw that. It's like, wow. The desperation.
You were trying to make me say it, weren't you, Rex?
I got close. I figured, Al Patroni's been patient. We got to make it work. But
yeah,
you can't be fooled.
I'll allow it. I'll say it every now and then. I wonder why saying bottle of water is such a thing people ask. Like when I went traveling last year, I was asked to say it way too much.
Why? What? Like I don't know. You wouldn't know this. Why would you know this about me? But I lived in England for a while, so like the accent's not a novelty to me. But people are like, say this thing. You're like, okay.
Well, you know how to speak in a British accent.
I know how to speak Yorkshire, so I don't know if you'd count that.
I think you should commentate the game which is going on right now in a Yorkshire accent.
Yorkshire, that's a lot of F words. I don't think they want to handle that.
Okay, so expansion from both sides. It was a normal opener, but Vostok once again is just expanding way faster than Mini Hissy has taken all of the main buildings, and Mini Hissy is going to have to go for a last-ditch attack, which does take the tower, but is taken back instantly. And yes, there was a bit of lag there. I thought Mini Hissy managed to take that building, but the game is just done again. Vostok is just dominating. I don't know if he's
going to be able to defend that tower. His push was super aggressive.
So Vostok, once again in this map, it's just he expanded so much better than Mini Hissy.
Now, are you seeing a little bit of lag in there too?
Yeah, there was a bit.
I wonder like, if that.
Yeah. What were you saying?
If that impact the game at all, or if that.
Normally, that's just
it was
a lag
little
for
chunky.
the spectator. Normally,
okay.
Obviously, I lag a lot, so I know the sort of lag I get. It's not normally just units teleporting around, but sometimes it can be, can't it? Do you lag ever, or have you just got the perfect Wi-Fi?
Oh, I've got the perfect Wi-Fi. I mean,
oh yeah.
No, there are times like it's good. Like 9 out of 10 times, but there's certain spots in my house that I'm like, dang, I'm dominating, and then it'll like snap back, and I've been like absent for 10 minutes.
I get that.
So I'm like, oh gosh, yeah. So it's hit and miss. So we have El Patroni in chat saying, "Now I can sleep in peace."
It's all right. I got you, man. You can rest your head, my dear.
Puts the phone down, rests the head on the pillow, and drifts off to a deep sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like 5 PM. Get a job, you bum.
That's good.
Chinny, I always lag. Dang, I mean, with maybe it's like God's way of keeping you humble, because I mean, we've played a ton, and you're pretty good if you're lagging, sir.
Mate, in the normal game, I've never played Chinny in one.
So we're having a little bird whisper in our ear that we are going to be replaying this game now. Was that a lag issue? Were we right in seeing that?
Oh, so there was.
Okay, so there was a lag issue, and they're going to be replaying that game. That seems fair.
Okay. Wait, so if
lag a lot.
So we're told that Vostok had bad connection there, but that's interesting. If Vostok was the one lagging, but he still won, but maybe that caused lag on Mini Hissy's end.
Could be.
Yeah.
So El Patroni, we're gonna get the name lag a lot. So, all right. So we got the replay, and it does look like a more even push, actually.
Yeah. for sure. Will Vostok just overwhelm him with expansion? So Mini Hissy's playing this much better. Although he has just given the morale, and the 15 at the bottom has just been taken. And for me, this attack is just way too reckless. There's so many buildings surrounding it, but that was a bait attack.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because
but then it
Vostok
ended
has
up
his
getting
second,
hit
he
the
just managed to
second.
defend it.
I think that this may just play out exactly like the other game. It looks like he expanded super aggressive and ended up with the advantage there.
Yeah, definitely. Going for the tower. Is he going to take it? If he takes it, I think that's game. Oh, he didn't take it. But it's just, look at the morale and the units. It's just crazy difference. I think this is game again.
Yeah. GG's. Well done, Vostok.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for Mini Hissy. He's lost 3 games against me and then 3 games against Vostok, but he really is playing pretty well. It's just I'm okay, but Vostok is one of the best players in the game. So he is playing very well, but playing against Vostok is just very hard.
But hey, you got to start somewhere, right? He's
exactly
got his name in the lights. We're sitting here talking about him. Got a solid group watching. Let's drop some encouragement in chat.
Yeah.
Solid plays.
Well done, Mini Hissy.
Because it's well done.
For trying.
You've played, so tell us when you're playing and you know that there's a live stream happening, people are watching, commentating on it. Like, does that impact your gameplay?
Mate, I start completely bricking it. It's really scary. I'm not gonna lie. For me, it's like, it feels like my heart's racing, and then I'd like make a load of mistakes. Like, I'll be practicing just before the stream, like before I play in a cup, and I'll be playing some of the best games of my life, and then completely start screwing up as soon as it's the live games. The nerves really do affect you.
See, I can imagine. I mean, that's, if you look at the numbers, see, some people look at like numbers on stream like, oh, it's only X amount of people watching. But if you imagine those people that are like in your room watching you, that's a ton of people that are watching these games.
Exactly. And especially when they're your friends, and especially with the clan cup, they're your friends. You're trying to win the cup for your teammates, and it's just very hard to really perform at your best when you've got the pressure of all of the other players. But here's the next game. We've got Zeke versus Zeke. What will be the map? Drum roll, please.
We have Vu and V1. Ooh, that's a good map. One. So I definitely have an opening strategy on this one. It'll be interesting to see the differences with the people who
How would you do it?
Good. Exactly how Vu just started.
Voodoo or V1? They both begin with a V.
Voodoo.
Okay, yeah. I did the exact same as Voodoo. Sexy has tried to start the King of the Hill Tower at the beginning, so this gives him an advantage because
the bottom.
He didn't. Yeah, he screwed up the bottom. That's very unfortunate. So Sexy went for a very interesting strategy. He went for the King of the Hill to start, which means his King of the Hill Tower started to count down early, and this means that if it does end up being a draw game and they don't trade King of the Hill Towers, Vampire will just automatically get the win. Especially with such a defensive character like Zeke, it's very difficult when one player just plays completely defensive to win. But incoming, probably a perfect...
Oh no! Ooh. Oh my gosh, almost takes it, but I think he's going to hang on to that. I think that strategy may work out for him in the end.
Yeah, and he's also just gained loads of morale from the defense of the tower. And once again,
now he's pushing the king. I think he's going to snatch it. Wow, well done from Team Sexy.
Sexy is stomping Wu right now, completely destroying them. These are such short games as well. We had some games earlier where it was impossible to commentate because they were just bouncing back and forth, and now we've only got minute-long games which you can't really commentate because they don't last long enough to say anything.
Yeah, this one started out right. You know, they're getting set up, they're going, and then V1 just pushed. Is that V1? Is that a 1? What am I seeing here?
Yeah, it's
but I mean, that aggressive push, and it worked. I think it really came down to this tower at the top. Because he hit it with the 4th, and I think it was just slightly too late. And then when Voodoo pushed in, he was able to hit him with the second, which lost the
definitely.
tower.
That's the issue.
Is there anybody in chat that is not familiar with this game or is newer?
Ooh, a newbie. That'd be cool.
Take notes. These strategies are solid.
Yeah, they're very good. I think I like Vampir's opening more. The King of the Hill Tower has got a lot of production, and then he can proceed to expand with that production, and also he's beginning the King of the Hill countdown. So therefore, if the game does end up as a draw, he's going to win the game. If the King of the Hill doesn't trade. Okay, now Voodoo versus Vampire again.
With Boggy, they're both going for the King of the Hill. Like I said, I love Boggy, so I am going to... It's like equal starter here.
Yeah.
Anybody in chat know how to pronounce this name? I'm just going to say Boggy until I'm corrected.
It must be Boggy. B-O-G-G-I. Boggy.
Right? It's clearly this.
Interesting, really good second, personally. He's taken that top village, but now Vampire, if he wants to, he can just never go down there again. He can just avoid attacking that. Oh, but he wants to.
Those mines.
He wants it. But because
those mines are so brutal.
Yeah, but because all of those units were already there, but this is a bit of a reckless attack from Voodoo. He's just attacking their backline. You want to be attacking buildings which have less buildings to defend, like to reinforce it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Oof. He gets hit with the second, but I don't think it's enough to take it. He's probably going to lose his forge in the process. Yep. Lose the building on the bottom as well. Well done.
I think the stomping is continuing from Sexy. Double the units again and double the morale. I think that's just game. Yeah, and he surrenders.
Well done.
Okay. Another good game.
Solid.
Sexy.
So if you watch this, it starts out super mirrored. So where would you say the advantage comes to Sexy here?
So the advantage definitely came. It was a very even game, especially with Voodoo managing to take that top building with a perfect second. That was a really good second. That wasn't wasted. And then Sexy, in my opinion, actually made a mistake attacking that top village. He used a lot of units. They all got killed by the Boggy second. But then Voodoo, as a response to all this gained morale, he then attacked the back line, going through an entire tower, which is just shooting the units, giving Sexy the morale back. And then the back line, it was just so easy to defend. He could see where the units were going, and that's where the morale flipped in Vampire's favor, and he took advantage of that and just took all of the buildings and just won the game. Oh, here we go.
Here it is.
I think even I'm going to
everybody
this one.
That is exclamation Lego.
Everyone, make sure you join this one. You can get legendary artifact. Woo!
And that does look like a chinny. Wow. It's a chinny artifact.
It's quite funny because there's obviously a bit of screen lag because we were the first two to write down Lego. It hasn't even come up on the stream yet, and people are
starting to type it.
Exclamation!
So I could just do exclamation. I could just do exclamation anything, and people would believe me.
Yeah, people will just copy you. We could pull a little prank. But yeah, I think that was all the 1 versus 1. So I think we're now on to some 2 versus 2s. Sexy has been stomping on them so far. It's 4 or 5-0. I think it's 5. Yeah, 5-0. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, they're cruising. Yeah, 5-0. These games have been very, very different from the openers. With AOS in top for sure. Like, I mean, good for Sexy. Like I said, I need a Sexy shirt with a little mushroom guy on it.
Incoming next.
No reason to be fans of them. It's just the name's good.
So it's Alexis.
What's the strategy on this map?
So because they're playing defensive heroes, you want to just expand to the 5. If you're playing an aggressive hero, you literally just want to all-out attack them. If you've got a Moro, if you've got a Klotz, just go straight in. You'll get your first from the attack and then win. I think they're both just going to go for the 15 Forge. And no.
They snatch it handily. Wow.
But oh, he does take the village. This could be a much closer game than I thought. Because as soon as he went for the Voodoo and Dark went around the Forge, I thought they had no chance. But Dark, I'm calling him Dark, D4X1K, has managed to take so much more production. And Lexa Sochi, Sexy L's, hasn't managed to take advantage of the big damage they did with the Forge. And I think this is game for Wu. Wu has got on the scoreboard.
Well done, Woo.
Woo.
Woo. Nice. Yeah, maps like this where it's just that initial push and then they have to like time it, and then rush the Forge.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to watch that. It's like you watch them build and then they're just they all just charge in.
Yeah. Practicing this map, I think it's very difficult to win when you don't all out that Forge. So the fact that we managed to take that, very impressive. Yes, and as Chili just said, do not upgrade your level 2 buildings in this game. If you upgrade your level 2, you will get it. The other player can just all-out attack you and will instantly win. You start with 20 units. If you're using 10 units to upgrade that start building, they can just run you down because they've only spent 5 units expanding for the other 5. So Chinny's exactly right there. Do not.
So is that advice across the board in this game? So if you start with a level 2, don't upgrade it, just expand.
No, just on this map. Just on this map.
Okay.
Normally on most maps you actually want to expand. And Neptune Gravity has won the legendary artifact. Why wasn't it me?
What the heck, Nightbot? That was like 30 seconds. You gotta let that marinate for a minute. We're giving it away so fast. What is this? I guess that's good job for Neptune.
But no, not everyone else.
Neptune. Yeah, jeez. Hey, well done, Neptune. Enjoy that legendary artifact.
Nice. But yeah, definitely just this map. Most maps, actually, you want to be upgrading the level 2. You just don't want to pass level 3. You want to prioritize expansion. There's a few maps where you don't even want to upgrade level 2. It's once you really practice a map, you learn the ins and outs of when you want to upgrade, where you're going to expand. But the general idea on most maps is you don't want to upgrade to level 4 straight away because that loses. It's 20 units to upgrade a building is just too much, and the other player can expand. I really like the change of this map. This map has really gotten better. So incoming big expansion from D4. I'm calling him Dark. I'm sorry if you're not called Dark.
No, just say it D4X1K. You gotta go for it.
Let me just.
That was the name they were giving it birth.
That's like Elon Musk's kid. Wu Amun Ra
exactly.
Big attack down, faking out to the right and then going in for the bottom. Perfectly timed Forge. Wow, is Wu just a 2 versus 2 specialist or something? Because that was a really good attack. And a perfect use of third. I think this could be Wu's game again. They're not messing about in the 2 versus 2s, are they?
Yeah, that's good for them because they needed that.
Yeah. If they manage to win all of the 2 versus 2s, then this is a way closer game. Because this game is just done. There's nothing Lex Sochi can do. Is it Loha? I think it's Loha. Yeah, there's just nothing he can do. It's just the production is way more, and that's game. Beautiful attack from Wu Amun Ra. Ral, sorry. Really good.
Yeah, there
He
it
just
is.
perfectly timed the forge. He kind of faked out going for one of them. That's a really good thing you can do at high level play. Is like pretend you're going for somewhere else. They will send units out of the building which you're mainly attacking, and then going all in on the main building. That's a really smart strategy which I've tried to start doing when I play the game as well.
Okay, I have to unplug my headset. It is driving me nuts. It's twisted right here, and it's like pulling me to the side. So I won't be able to hear you, but I can still talk.
Don't worry,
Give me a second.
I'll just chat.
Just fill the silence while I get myself out
Maybe
of this predicament.
we could reminisce in a bit of silence, just vibe out. But yeah, so you sort out your headset, and I'll explain what Amun-Ra did. Is what he did. He faked out going for the right, I think. Although from the looks of it, it was just an all-out attack, and he perfectly timed the forge brilliantly to take it. And yeah, then after that, there was just nothing really that Sexy could do there. The game was just done. Like Lohab, yes, he perfectly defended D4 X1's attack, but it didn't really work. Are you back, Rex, or still?
I'm back. I got it sorted. I was tangled.
Neptune,
did you win last? I deeply missed. The world mourned my silence. Okay, so did Neptune? I'm seeing El Patroni saying Neptune winning both streams. Like, did Neptune win the legendary?
Last week.
Does that mean that you're just gonna get it and throw it in the trash and enjoy your little like?
Is it the same legendary artifacts, or are we mixing up each time? Okay, but here comes the next game. We've got Sexy Q, Sexy Mega, D4 X1K, and Heavy Meta.
Perfectly pronounced.
Heavy Meta or Metal. I thought it was Metal, but okay. So Sexy Q going for a very aggressive early rush, and Heavy Meta is just that he's just feeding morale straight away. This is already.
Yeah, I don't know why he's pushing that still.
Yeah. Now
it looks like Mega's gonna snatch that away right away too. No.
Okay, so
no.
Oh, Heavy Meta is just completely feeding. Although he's going to take that forge. He's going to take that forge, which is really nice. So there's no
only just, yeah.
Wow, what is going on? D4 X1K is just completely destroyed Mega. I think that's because I think I saw Mega tried attacking and just fed a load of morale, and D4 X1K is playing this brilliantly. I think this is game. Wow.
Holy, yeah, he swept through there so fast.
So, wow, crazy. What do you think happened with Mega and D4 X1K? I wasn't really paying attention to that.
Solid win for Wu again. Well done. I mean, they obviously lost the 1v1s, all of them, and then are picking it up with the 2v2s. So yeah. not the worst. GG's,
you know what
guys.
I think? I think it was strategical. They lost the 1v1s on purpose so that they could just make a huge comeback and just show their true prowess in the 2v2s.
Oh my gosh.
They only care about them.
Yeah, you're so right. I'm so blind to this strategy. Yeah. Now they were like, we've got them right where we want them. They've softened them up with their wins. They made them fat with victory. Now they're just going to run circles around them. They're going to get a side ache.
Yeah. I actually just got a message saying that D4X1K is playing it with his eyes closed. How is he doing this?
Oh my... Absolutely unreal. What a master. You know, and that doesn't surprise me. I mean, after the revelation that you play with your nose and your feet,
it's just
eyes closed. Child's play.
Yeah.
And then there's me. I learned how to snake like a year ago. So, you know, one step at a time.
Yeah, how long have you been playing this game?
So I went over this last time. I've been playing a long time. Like, I played Mushroom Wars 1. Mushroom Wars 2 came out. I reluctantly came over once they shut down Mushroom Wars 1. because I was intimidated with the heroes and stuff. So truthfully, it's been a very, very long time. But I think my skill only improved once I found the community and was able to get some tips, because it was just me, and so I would just play, you know. And then I had a few very kind people. Jenny was one of those who would just kind of guide me to get better. So the community is a big deal if you haven't joined and want to get better.
It helps, doesn't it? I wouldn't be where I am today without them. Okay, so back on this map. I'm really liking this map when I practiced it. It's really fun. They both have just stopped doing anything. What's going on? I think we're lagging.
Did they all lag out?
I think maybe the spectator is lagging. Because
maybe it's a ceasefire. Maybe they've all come together and they've decided no more mushroom wars. Oh my gosh, we are seeing history in the making. A true ceasefire has happened. The mushroom wars have ended. It's been like 15 years of violence amongst our little shroomy friends.
You're quite funny.
Thank you. We have a bird whispering into our ears something that has happened. Okay, so we've been told that it was not a legendary ceasefire of the Great Mushroom Wars, but in fact, we as spectators couldn't see the players, so they were fighting and continuing the dark ages of violence.
Yeah, so we'll have to watch that in the replay soon. So D4X1K is just random letters and numbers you got when you first started playing. So what do I call you, my friend? Who are you?
I love that so much, and this is why, because I look at it and I've always been joking when you play, it's like D4X1K, right? And people are like, no, I think it's this, and they're like reading it together, and you're like, it was just randomly generated and I kept it. Like everybody's like trying to find meaning behind it.
I just whacked the keyboard and that'll do.
I held strong. D4X1K. I knew your true identity. Yeah, you just whacked the keyboard. You're like, I need a name.
I mean, I feel like I'd have to do that at some point. I've had this Cobra Mass nickname since I was very young. It was actually my brother's username on games, and I just stole it from him because I didn't like mine anymore.
Cobra Mass identity theft is not a joke.
It's pretty bad, man. He was not a happy chappy when that first happened. Not a happy chappy at all.
You steal his username and then become famous on Mushroom Wars. You stole his dream.
I think he'll be proud of me at that point. If I become a A-list celebrity from Mushroom Wars 2 live streams, I mean,
which is bound to happen, obviously.
I'll chuck him a couple quid if he wants.
Yeah. You know, he'll be like, I'm proud of you, and he'll go in for the hug and pull you in close, and that's when you'll get shanked.
All the money's mine now.
He'll grab you by the neck, and he'll be like, I never forget. I never forgive.
Yeah, the reason it's called Cobra Mass is nothing to do with, well, it is something to do with snakes, but Cobra was my favourite roller coaster ride at somewhere called Portland Park. Oh, and then Mass is Sam Backwards, which is my brother's name. Okay, the game is started. We're watching the replay, I believe. So,
and the players are not invisible. Very good.
No more ceasefire. Or is this? I think this is just a replay of the last game.
Yeah, I think it was, but I think we're frozen now, or it paused.
Oh, we're having slight technical difficulties, guys.
But we can see it.
But yeah, Mass is Sam Backwards, and that's my brother's name. So, Cobra, favourite ride, Sam Backwards.
Wait, you mixed your brother's name into your game tag? It's like an insult that never stops giving.
Nah, because it was his name. I used to be Matt Foot. Like, what a bad name. It's my name, and I liked football. It just
But
sucks.
it just said foot.
Yeah, Matt Foot.
All right, here we go. Okay, so it's a little skippy, but we're
this is
19.
definitely this is just the replay of the first game as well. So we'll get a new game in a second. I don't think the teams were the same. Okay. So we're going to see a replay in just a second, but not of the game which we've already seen, of the game which froze.
Okay, all right, we got a lot going on here. So my original gamer tag on Mushroom Wars, I can't say on stream, but if any of you want to know, jump over to my stream on Kick or Twitch, the OG Captain Rex, and ask me in chat, and I'll tell you. It's a good time. But
do you play Mushroom Wars on your stream at all?
So I'm such a dummy. I did. I have a capture card that I hooked to my phone, and then I swapped streaming, not platforms, but like I was using. I use OBS now. What's another one like? I forget what it's even called, but when I swapped over, I couldn't figure out how to set up the capture card, and didn't. And then time passed.
I've been wanting to stream a Mushroom game as well, but I've been very busy recently and I haven't bought a capture card, and I'm trying to see if there's a way of doing it without a capture card. Vostok actually sent me some stuff which I should probably actually look into, but yeah. Sounds
Captain Rex, ask Cobra Moss Discord's name. Okay, what's your Discord name? Probably super appropriate.
Well, basically, in the Discord community, I'm in the AOS clan and the Mushroom Wars 2 clan, and I've just changed my nickname to other players' names. So my nickname in the AOS chat is Vu Guided. I don't actually know how to say his name, but I've just copied his name. Oh, and here we go. And then the other one is Sammy, who's actually in the chat right now. Hello, Sammy. So they've both done normal expansion. Woo Heavy Metal is metal, not meta. Is going for a big attack along with Woo Amun Ra. Let's see if it's as successful as last time. And is it? It was pretty successful. He took the home base. Brilliant. Amun Ra is really popping off in these two versus twos. Sexy Q is going for a big attack on the Ford as well. I don't like that.
And then we got Ra pushing. Holy. Takes the king and his base. Solid push.
And Heavy Metal's defending almost perfectly. This could be game already. I don't really understand the logic behind Amun Ra's fourth there. He used it on a building which he couldn't attack, and it also had barely any units in. He couldn't know that, obviously, but there was just no reasoning for that fourth to be used. Like, always, whenever you use a skill, try and use logic to like deduce why you want to use a skill. Like, oh, I might attack that building soon. Let's use the fourth on it.
They kind of just tossed it out there as a great distraction here.
Let's confuse the enemy.
He's kind of just like trickling to that forge. Like that's kind of a weird play by Amun Ra.
You're right, but it's gonna most likely work. Although actually, Amun Ra has none of his home base because of UT's fourth. Q could have a chance to make one of the craziest comebacks because it's 4 stars to 0, but they do have double the units, and I think they can just keep trickling it in and they will win eventually. Although, incoming attack, Q does need to attack here. He needs to take some buildings, and he does take that. Amun Ra just not stopping. Yeah,
they've got double the units. I think they're just comfortable throwing it like that, just tossing units at it.
This is definitely comebackable for Q211. And Chinny just said, which I was about to mention, that could have been his strategy. Okay, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to let you. You told me it, but what a good strategy with Unk's fourth is to. Oh, And that's game, yeah. There's just nothing really he could do. Amon-Ra just had crazy more production, and that was game. As I was just saying, with Unk's fourth, what you can do is if you see units coming out of a building, if you place your fourth on it and they're still sending units to their other villages on their base, it will infect those villages as well. So it won't have just infected that building, they'll have expanded and infected the other buildings. So that might have been why.
Right. Okay, so catch them as they're starting to spread. That makes sense.
Because they're trying to send them to their allied buildings. And if you manage to send it to... If they're sending it to loads of buildings, you could have like 4 buildings on the enemy's team with a plague with it. A really fun thing to do on 2 versus 2 is... You know Chia's fourth, the Sandstorm?
Yes.
So if you plague a building with loads of units in, and then they attack you with those units, if you Sandstorm it, the Sandstorm, all of the plagued units are in it, and they then spread to all of the buildings.
Oh, that's devastating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
I get that. Solid play.
Every single building on that base will have, will end up with plague and just ruins any chance of the other player of winning. So that combination...
Oh, that's super smart.
That combination actually happened.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Chia versus Unk. But unfortunately, we didn't see it.
Yeah, I need to see that strategy.
It's
That's
so
amazing.
much fun. It's so cool. I've only done it like once or twice because it's really hard to like... Because you have to communicate it as well. And yeah, but it's really cool to see.
So you've got this little trickle coming in from Amon-Ra. I thought that was going to backfire, but ended up working.
Yeah, it almost did. You're right. You should never really try and trickle. If you're at the point where you're trickling units, you're probably going to struggle. Like, everyone does it. It's when you think you're so close to taking a building, you're like, just please die, but it doesn't. You just don't manage.
Wu's been making a comeback, though. I mean, we're sitting at 4-5 to Sexy. Well done.
If they win this, then it's draw. Although, is 2 versus 2's worth more points? I can't remember. So, big attack coming in from Heavy Metal. Big lock from both teams, actually. That was a really well-timed lock for... And Amon-Ra going in, but without a forge. You need a forge 90% of the time when you do an attack. You need a forge for that extra damage. And now the morale's just massively in Sexy's favour. Will they defend? They put really good use of second. Okay. Going in for the forge there, and nothing Heavy Metal can do to defend it. And I think that's game.
Holy.
Yeah.
All right, Sexy. Well done.
They got the win.
Getting all the little emotes.
And now, just to add some time onto the game,
GG's.
if Wu Metal wanted to add even more time, just send it to the exact opposite side of the base. Just let the troops run all the way along.
I've done it. I'm guilty of that.
Me
it's like
too.
getting ready to lose it. It's like, I'm going to send 3 guys across the map and you're going to watch.
What I like to do if someone does that
Well done,
to me
Sexy.
is let them take that building and just extend the game even more.
Right. Well, you can tell when they're like grinding where they have to do like 15 of one move, right? You just empty it out, let them get that done.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you think pushed the victory over to Sexy this time?
So it was just the attack was actually pretty good from Wu. He made a Heavy Metal. He made a good forge, but then Amon-Ra decided to follow up with no forge and fed way too much morale to Mega, and then Mega was just able to capitalize off that, make a forge, and then just completely destroy them.
Yeah.
Because if Amon-Ra had made that forge, then he could have defended, actually successfully taken a building. even then, I don't know. I think it was just a bit too much for reckless attack. But what a game!
So look at
The
that,
same score.
Sexy with the 5 1v1 wins, and 0 to Wu, but then Wu comes flying back with the 4 wins with the 2v2s, but Sexy pulls it out with the 1 there, putting it to 6-4.
Yeah, there's the same score as the first few games. So, oh yes, and same theory with Chia is you can do it Chia and Unk's 4th. You can do it with Pahom's 4th as well, says Crespo, and then Chili saying that the funnier thing to do is just send it to all your allies' feelings.
Nice. So as of the standings, we're sitting with AOS with 13, top sitting at 12 points, 10, and Wu with 5 points. Well fought, everybody. Really well played.
Yeah, and the way this tournament works is the wins take priority. However, if the wins are drawn, then it goes to points. And then if the points are drawn, then it goes to something else.
Solid. It
Something
definitely
else.
will go to something else. It's
If that
boxing.
doesn't work out, there will be another few games, but I can't remember what that third one is.
Well, and the craziest thing is that there's real money on the line here. Like, this game is a ton of fun, and first place, they're getting $200. Now, that is for them to distribute amongst the team. However, they wish. 50,000 gems, 1,000 for each member. They get the clan winner avatar frame, which is solid. Whenever I get those frames, when I'm playing against them, I'm instantly intimidated. 3 years of premium and the first place trophy. Second place, they get $100 to split amongst the team, 25,000 gems, 500 for each member just for showing up. 2 years of premium, which is split amongst the team, which is kind of a funny thing. It's like you get a week, you get a year. I'd be interested to see how they split that up. Second place trophy, and then the third, you get the $50, 10,000 gems, 250 for each member just for showing up. Year of premium, and the third place trophy.
Yeah. And I'm sure, as my clan knows, that if we win anything, I expect to get everything. No sharing.
Seems fair.
Yeah,
Seems
makes
fair.
it just-
How do you decide that? I mean, you've been on the end of that. Like, what? How is that discussed?
We haven't actually talked about that yet. I'm assuming we're just going to split it evenly between. I would assume the players who played. Obviously, so there might be some players who are signed up for Hard Team who unfortunately can't make it. I believe they don't deserve any prize, but it's our captain is leader, and I'm sure she'll make her fair decision. And
Sure.
I'll go along with her.
Yeah, you should talk about it beforehand. Otherwise, it's gonna be violence. You're all gonna be sat around chatting, and yeah, it's gonna be a bloodbath. That's crazy.
Directly after the clan cup, all the clans break up because they can't decide how to distribute their prizes.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to split $200. People with lifelong friendships ruined over $50 split.
Yeah, in reality, the team which lost is the only clan which will stay together because that's the only one which doesn't get a prize.
That's true. Through their hardships, they are strengthened.
Become the only clan.
Say
Okay.
say that one more time.
Say what one more time?
It keeps cutting out. Jeez. Right on. Go ahead, Mr. Corral.